Welcome to Talk to Me. I'm your host, Brenda Warren, the Solutionist. I see things other people often miss. I help veterans, entrepreneurs, and authors turn their mess or their mission into a message for the masses. And today, do I have a treat for all of you entrepreneurs out there? Let me tell you, today, I want to ask you a question. Are you in overwhelm? Are you trying to find this paper, that paper? Can't find an email, don't know what outsourcing looks like. You just can't find it. No matter what you do, everything seems to be missing or misplaced. And you have a business and you're going, I'm pulling my hair out. Well, today's guest, Miss Mandeep Kaur, is your source for outsourcing. Have you been looking for a virtual assistant and you just didn't know where to go because you were concerned about your cybersecurity, you were concerned about getting it done right the first time? Then this is the show you want to watch. Mandeep Kaur is a business and leadership coach, IT consultant, and owner of two international businesses. She helps entrepreneurs, small business owners, and women refuel their dreams. As a business and technical leader who brings stockholders together in global agile business environments, a dynamic thought leader who brings business, product, and engineering teams within an agile framework, translating business needs into product development and delivery roadmaps. She supports senior executives and business owners in translating business ideas into business products with emphasis on return on investment. She motivates and challenges teams to self organize, focus on results, embrace change, and continuously improve while reinforcing agile business practices. Since founding Beyond Outsourcing and Beyond Financing, she has coached and mentored women in the USA and India, helping them build their careers and leadership skills, providing them with opportunities to financially support their families. Her revolutionary approach is based on honoring feminine values. By becoming thriving professionals, doesn't matter what the industry you're serving. The three cornerstones of her businesses are empowering others to be better versions of themselves, working in the spirit of giving back, and prioritizing quality over quantity. Prior to embarking on her social entrepreneurial mission, she spent more than a decade in corporate America as a program manager, IT manager, and project manager. Her 15-year background includes successes in global finance, technical transformation, data analytics project implementations, and in developing and leading offshore agile adoption. Skillfully managing project planning, direction, execution, milestones, and lessons learned. As a first generation immigrant and as the first in her family to graduate from university, she understands the importance of community and relationship building. Active in the interfaith community, she has chaired the Charity Kala 6K Memorial Run and Walk event held annually in Oak Creek, where thousands of individuals of different racial, religious, and ethnic backgrounds come together to celebrate diversity and tolerance. Passionate about giving back, she was invited by President Barack Obama to the White House for successfully helping the community navigate a recovery plan after a mass shooting in the Sikh temple of Wisconsin. Mandy also sits on four nonprofit boards. I mean, you guys, I could keep going, but as you can see, we'll be here for the whole show talking about all that she does. So I'm going to stop there and just simply say, welcome, Mandeep, and thank you for coming to talk to me because I'm so excited about you being on the show.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you for having me.
For those of you listening, I just want to say once again, Mandeep, thank you for coming on the show because there are so many of us looking for virtual assistants and we want to hire the right one the first time. And I know that you can help us do that. Tell me, what got you started wanting to make sure people had good virtual assistants?
So I come from a family of business owners and entrepreneurs. My dad was an entrepreneur. My sister's an entrepreneur. My brother just got into business. I'm into business. And the gap that I was seeing was that a lot of these business owners, they're working around the clock and they're doing all the admin tasks, which could be easily delegated to somebody else, right? So they're so focused on the details in their business and they don't have the time to focus on their business, right? And also they don't have the opportunity to spend time on things that they enjoy, like family and kids. My dad was working around the clock, 15, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, to grow his business, to even forget about growing, just even maintaining the business. So by the time he actually had time to spend with us, we're all grown. We're all out of the house. We all have our own lives now, right? And I see that same thing happening with my sister, where she doesn't have time to spend with her family because she's so involved in the details of the business that could be easily outsourced to a VA.
So when you meet with someone that says, oh, I am so stressed that I really need a VA, what is the first step in the process? What should we be looking for?
So the first thing that I would recommend that any business owner or anybody that is looking to hire a VA is assess their processes, assess what can they outsource to a VA? What do they want a VA to do? And there's multiple different myths about what a VA can do and what they can't do. Technically, a VA can do anything that can be done remotely. So if I don't have to sit in your office to do something, I could have a VA do it. And there's different types of VAs, right? So depending on the skill set you're looking for, depending on the industry you're focusing on, we could find a VA for you.
So I know you said it doesn't really matter about your industry. I think one of the things that I found for myself is I feared not knowing what I should delegate to a VA and what I should keep to myself. Do you help with that process?
Yeah, so in the front end, anytime somebody shows interest of hiring a VA with us, I personally work with that business owner or that individual to identify what we can and cannot outsource. Sometimes it's simple as just their administrative tasks to complicating as a couple of weeks ago, somebody outsourced their whole IT department, right? Wow. So I have my virtual assistants back in my office in India supporting technical services that are taking place here in the US. So there's a lot of myths about VAs, that they can't, there's certain things that they can't do. Those are all myths. VA can do anything that can be done remotely.
So when you now, say for example, for me, one of my fears additionally is that not knowing what I could get a VA to do, but also I am fearful of identity theft. Is there something you can do to help with that?
Yes. So cybersecurity is something that everybody really needs to be concerned about these days, where we have all our information online, but we have very little knowledge of how to keep it secure. So with Beyond Outsourcing, one thing that we could guarantee is the security of your data. We use, depending on the type of data you have, we use the basics of antivirus programs to having tokens in place, VPNs in place. So depending on the industry you're in, if you're in a financial industry, we go all the way to the extreme, which is making sure that we're using tokens, we're using VPNs. So data security is something that we consider very important in our organization, simply because being from the IT field, I am very familiar with how sensitive data is, and especially when you're shipping it to overseas or across borders, all the rules and regulations, laws that you got to follow before you move the data across the borders.
So do you work with solopreneurs, small businesses, corporations? Which environment is best for you?
My focus is on small to mid-sized businesses. Right now, we haven't explored the corporate world simply because I think the need right now is in the small and mid-size. That's where I see entrepreneurs struggling to find more time in their day. So this is an opportunity for them more than the corporate world. The corporate world have figured it out. Corporate world, the idea actually came to me because I was in corporate world. I was doing it for 15, 16 years. And then it just clicked to me one day that if corporate 500, Fortune 500 companies are using this strategy to cut their cost and streamline their processes, they're shipping everything to different countries. Why can't a small business owner do the same thing? And it would benefit them as well, right?
Yeah. So if you're focusing on a small business, then so it would not be unusual for someone like me who is a complete solopreneur. I have no other employees, it's just me. Like right now, Mandeep, I spent 20 minutes actually looking for a what do you call that thing? See, I need a VA to tell me. I was looking for a Word document that I had already completed, but I needed to send it to someone. And I have no system in my files. So it took me 20 minutes to find something that I felt like I should have just been able to click and find it. Because I'm one of those people that files apples under blue because that day the sky was blue. Okay, it's no rhyme or reason to my filing system, so I spend time spinning my wheels trying to do it. Would a VA be able to help me with that?
Oh yeah, that's very easy to be taken care of. We could just get an executive assistant for you who will organize all your files and file them the way that makes sense to you, and make sure that you're able, not only can you find them, but if you need them to jump in and help you coordinate anything, they could easily jump in and do that for you.
So once they were able to, if they were able to untangle my mess and get me to a place where I could actually find files in seconds as opposed to 20, 30 minutes. Now we've got this working and everything. And this VA now that I love takes a hike. What happens? Do I have to look for the other VA, or do you take care of that?
No, the way that we work is anytime a VA decides to leave, it's our responsibility that we backfill that role. We have to make sure it's trained and make sure there's a transition from the first VA to the second VA, so there's a minimal impact to the client. The way that we work is our recruiting is customized to the client. So you give me your requirements. After we go through your requirements of what you're looking for, experience, industry, your price range, I interview candidates based off of those requirements. So it's not one size fits all. Our solution is very customized solution.
If my VA wants to take a vacation, is that allowed, or do I then get a replacement VA temporarily? Or what if I want to take a vacation? Am I still required to pay for a VA while I'm gone and not actually working?
Right. So there's two things, right? First, they're an extension of your team. So similar to you, if you would hire an employee internally, same way, this employee is entitled to a certain number of vacations, sick days, etc. Right? And on the flip side, if you need to take a vacation and you say, okay, Mandeep, I'm out of town for the next month, I don't need a VA, that's fine. We will work out those solutions and make sure that you're not being charged for that time.
Now, what if you give me this VA and in the beginning, the VA works out, I just love this VA, they're my new bestie, but then something happens and I don't like them anymore.
Then we could replace the VA. It's just like so the way, because okay, let me backtrack here, because if you're freelancing, those VAs, it's one-off, right? Usually freelancers, it's just a one person that has their own business. In some cases, and some people don't, they're just freelancing work. Where under our umbrella, we have hundreds of VAs, right? So if something doesn't work out, you just don't get along with this person, even though they fit all your requirements, you just don't like their personality. I don't know, right? We could swap about, get you a new VA without, having any downtime.
Now, some of my content that I'm working on right now, I'm working on trade marketing. So it is very proprietary. So how am I reassured that the information that I'm passing to this VA as I'm building my coursework, my workbooks, and my books will not be passed off or used by someone else? Right.
So with Beyond Outsourcing, all these VAs are our employees. So my organization is registered in California. It's registered in Wisconsin. So obviously we're a U.S. organization. At the same time, we're registered in India. So I have an organization from the legality or also set up in India. So these employees, they go through the vetting process as a normal employee would go through. And then if for some reason your data is lost, Beyond Outsourcing is liable for that. So there's full security, and these VAs are working from my office, so they're not working from home. There's no you don't have to worry about them working from personal computers or anything like that. They're working from my office, and these are Beyond Outsourcing owned machines, so there's no reason for your data to be impacted in any way.
Oh, so this is not someone sitting in their basement in another country working on these. These are your actual employees that are.
Yes.
being
Yeah.
used
So
to do
yep.
this.
We have an
okay.
office. We have an office in India, and the employees work from the office. And these are our machines, our computers, so they're fully equipped with the right level of security. So you're not just hiring a freelancer; you're hiring a Beyond Outsourcing employee.
So, okay, now, you know what? So I've hired you. I'm happy with all this. Or maybe even before I hired you, I say, Mandeep, I know this looks really great, but if you could see behind the scenes, I'm using a computer from 1955. Do you help with the type of equipment that I really need to be able to properly connect with the VA?
Yes, we make sure that you're set up here in the US, wherever you're located. Like I just mentioned, I just had an IT project that was done a couple of weeks ago. I flew out to California, make sure they had the right equipment in place, make sure everything was working. They had the cameras installed, et cetera, right? Making sure everything was in place before we provided their back office support. So I will work directly with you. My partner lives in California. I live here. And we fly to wherever the client is to make sure their initial setup goes well.
Now, you know, one of the biggest challenges for solopreneurs is budget. So when we're first starting out, is there a strategy call or consultation call where we get to figure out if we can even afford your services before we commit to anything?
Yes.
Because for me right now, I've been scaling my business, and that's something I wanted, and maybe it's out of my price range. How do we do that?
Yeah, so my initial call with you, once I get an interest from you, we'll set up an initial call. We'll understand what you're trying to outsource, what you need a VA to do for you. And then from there, I'll go through the pricing and different packages that we provide. Because for example, if you might not even need a full-time employee. You might need somebody to just work 20 hours a week or 10 hours a week, right? So those packages are customized based off of what your need is. And then also the price range, depending on the skill set, depending on the number of years experience you're looking for, price will vary as well.
Now, I know that you have an event coming up soon, which will answer a lot of these questions. How will people attend? And could you tell us about your event that you're about to do?
Yes, so we have a launch, How to Hire Your Perfect VA, that is taking place September 28th, which is next week, Tuesday to October 1st at 9 a.m. Pacific. So starting at 9 a.m. Pacific, that's going to be 12 p.m. Eastern, right? Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll make sure we put all the information in the description for those people, since this is a spotlight interview. What I wanted to know too, so when we come to your training for those days, is this information going to be geared to telling me exactly how to hire that VA, and then I could contract you for your services, or is it in training on how to be a VA?
How to hire a VA.
Okay.
Yes.
So how to hire.
How to hire a VA, what's the difference between our outsourcing and freelancing, why working with Beyond Outsourcing is going to be a better security for you than finding somebody on Upworks or any other freelancing websites. Also, how do you make sure that your data is safe, your information is safe, making sure we have the right contract in place, making sure we have the right agreements in place. So guiding my audience through that to make sure that they can successfully, safely hire somebody.
So is this a paid event, or are you absorbing the costs?
This is a free event for anybody that's interested in how to hire their perfect VA.
Okay. I guess I would ask the question, when you do these events like this, Mandy, who would be the person that would benefit the most from this event?
I think anybody that's running around trying to figure out how they could get 2 minutes to run to the bathroom. Kind of, well,
Hello, that was me.
right? Or anybody that wants to grow their business and don't know how to hire the right individual, the right team. We could help with that. And also anybody that need the employees but don't have the budget, right? So if the quick example here, right? If you're hiring an employee here, minimum wage employee, for $15 an hour, right? Mm-hmm. And after you add their insurance, workman's comp, other benefits, it easily $20 an hour, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm hiring a minimum wage employee for you, we could easily give you somebody for $10 an hour. And on top of that, you don't have to pay any insurance because they're under my employees, they're under my umbrella. You have no worries about having to pay unemployment or any of those costs because you could cancel that agreement at any time without impact to you directly.
So, Mandy, with all the stuff that you're doing with the VAs and making sure businesses are able to meet the challenges that today's global virtual market does, what would you have told your younger self about what you're doing right now?
My younger self, I would have told myself to go into business probably sooner than I did. So, and also when I kicked off the business myself, I was at the beginning, I was doing similar things where I was running around trying to do every single thing. Because I have two different businesses. So first I kicked off my other one and then I kicked off this one. So I was doing everything. And then slowly I figured it out that, okay, I'm doing this in corporate America. I'm shipping my whole IT departments to other countries. So why am I not doing this for myself? And then I had a friend actually, she's also out in California, and she has a security company. So this will tell you that this goes to any industry, right? She has an armed guard security company. And what happened was that she was running around the clock. So I flew out there to visit her, and she didn't have time to spend with me because she was so busy in her business. We were out at lunch. She was looking at her phone. She was taking calls, and I was like, okay, now this is crazy. So I proposed this idea to her that why don't we try this? And then from her, she started out when I first started out with her, she had no knowledge about technology, no idea how she could have virtual employees. She was like, she first thought I was crazy. So we set it up for her, transferred all her hard files to soft files. So her VAs in India could work on her work, and then also trained her how to do video conference calls and everything, how to use technology. Mm-hmm. And now she's working less than 20 hours a day. 20 hours a week. Mm-hmm. And she went from, at that time, she had 50 employees. Right now, she has over 200 employees.
Wow.
She started with one VA. Now she has 20 VAs.
That's nice. So what advice would you give to a woman that's just starting out, say they just started being a solopreneur or a small business owner that says, I don't even know where to start? What would you tell them to do?
I would tell them to call me. I'll walk you through it. I'll handhold you through the whole process.
That's a good answer. I was thinking, tell them to come meet you at your virtual event on the 28th of September.
That would be perfect. That's just perfect. Attend this event. But some entrepreneurs, they're earlier on in the process, so they need a lot of one-on-one, right? Mm-hmm. So if they contact me directly, I'll walk them through the process as well. But if they just need a little knowledge, the event will be perfect for them as well.
So the event is a good starting place, but if you're ready and you say, I already know, I don't need to go to the event to figure it out. I know I need you now. How do they contact you?
They could visit my website, It's www.bydoutsourcing.com, or they could call me directly at 414-690-6435.
Mandeep, I'd like to ask the question I ask all my guests. How is what you're doing now help you live your best life?
It's a life full of purpose. The opportunities that I provide to women in India. Culturally, I come from the Indian background where women are not always encouraged to be their better self, right? To be independent. We're always in the shadow of a male figure. For me, this is very rewarding because even though the women in India are very educated, but their purpose for education is to get a rich husband, is to come abroad. It's never to be independent and to lead their life, right? And to live the dreams that they have. So these opportunities that I'm providing to women are helping them develop themselves, helping them develop their leadership skills, and helping them support their families financially. So they're not dependent on any male figure to help them figure it out.
That's great. I want to thank you for being on the show today. And I ask you to stand by while I just have a little conversation with the guests about the veterans. Ladies and gentlemen, every week on this show, I remind you to thank a veteran. This week, I'm just going to tell you to hold that thought because we're coming up with some additional news because the basket brigade has moved, but more information will be provided in my next show. With that said, I want to ask you all, are you ready to tap into Mandeep and her Beyond Outsourcing and Beyond Financial? Well, this is all you have to do. First, you have to change your mindset and remember to transform the fact that you are beginning to realize that you don't have to do it alone. Mandeep and her staff or virtual assistants are ready to help your business level up. Then I want you to announce to the world that I'm about to take the plunge into the virtual assistant arena. Go to her training that's coming up in September on the 28th, and more details will be planted in the description, or call her directly or visit her website. That information will also be provided. You'll get some accountability when you attend the training or you contact Mandeep so that you can have the virtual assistant of your dream. Then I want you to prepare for that. Stop hiding all those invoices. Get rid of all those balled up, crumpled pieces of paper. Put your trash in one bag and call her so she can help you straighten it out. Then I want you to imagine how much stress you will be relieving when you have a virtual assistant that helps keep you on track and gets your business heading in the right direction so that you can have amazing customer service. Then I want you to nurture that Mandeep and their virtual assistants are there to support you and help your business grow. That's how you tap into the virtual assistant world. It's easy. It's just a phone call or a website click away. Mandeep, do you have any final thoughts for our audience?
Yeah, I would say any business owner, any entrepreneur that's looking to grow their dreams, live their dreams, visit us. I'm sure we could give you the solution that fits your needs.
Well, Mandeep, thank you for that. Thank you for coming to talk to me. And again, do not forget to check out her website or call her on the phone. All that information will be provided. Remember, the choices you make today will be the reality you live tomorrow. Choose wisely and choose Beyond Outsourcing. If you want a virtual assistant you can trust. Be blessed, everyone.